Greetings, everyone. This message has been on my heart for a few days now. And as a senior citizen, I have to say that I do have experience and knowledge that will allow me to teach younger women and, by extension, men, because it's not just women who need to hear these stories, but men also. I'm especially appealing to women though, because we are the conduit from which all types of energies flow. And because of us, not just as creative beings, but as receivers, we have to recognize certain patterns and break those cycles and open new pathways for us to follow. I say this to say to every person who is entering into a relationship or seek to enter into a relationship, especially Black women, I want you to remember this. You see, when we see successful Black men and they're looking for partnership, let's just say they're professionals, they're a lawyer or a doctor or engineer or whatever field of study that they pursued and are now successfully achieving greatness from. When you're seeking a partner, a man who is successful in his career will go with a woman who doesn't have the financial situation to back up theirs or, you know, to meet their standard. But a man who's successful will not settle for somebody who is less than them in the sense that they might have less money, but he wants something from that woman and she has to be very beautiful or she has to be prepared to serve him. On the other hand, a successful Black woman will look for somebody who she wants to bring to her level. She wants to bring him to a point where, she elevates his standards. And when she seeks to do that with somebody who is not equally yoked, most of the time these relationships go awry because guess what? When a rich or a successful Black man gets together with a woman, he is trying to help her be his, not his helpmate, but someone who's going to be there to stroke his ego, who's going to be there to satisfy all his longing, to serve him. Whereas for the Black woman, she is still, in spite of her success, putting herself in a position to serve that man who is nowhere close to being successful as she is. Now, money doesn't make somebody more important than the other. But if truth be told, Black women, in spite of all the efforts they have made and the success that they have garnered in their life, continue to find partners or seek men who are not in a position to elevate them, who doesn't even have the interest. And after these women have stayed side by side and built with some of these men, some of whom are very unproductive, non-productive, those same non-progressive men will turn them around and disrespect that woman. And after he's elevated, he goes to look for somebody else to bring with him. So, what I'm saying is, it's time for Black women, when you're independent and you're a successful woman, you don't have to get involved with men because you're lonely. Get involved with people who can bring something to the table, because you hear men saying that, oh, what does a woman have to bring to the table? And yes, a lot of women believe that, bringing her body is good enough. But a lot of, as I said before, successful men We'll look at a woman's physical appearance. We'll look at, how she makes him feel. But women, successful black women, are not trying to get someone to make her feel good, to make her feel good in the sense that, yes, this is my equal partnership with this individual. This is a person who values me and respects me. When we pick our partner, we're not doing all the right checks and balances. We're going with loneliness. We're going with the feeling like, you know what, this one and that one and this one is in a relationship and I should be in one too. And getting to the point where you start settling for less than what you deserve. Feeling sorry with people, feeling sorry for people who obviously will not or would not feel sorry for you. Yeah. Getting into a relationship should not be something that because you feel sorry for somebody, you're giving someone a chance. Successful black men do not look for potential in a woman. Again, he's going with what she's bringing to his ego or what she is able to do for him, how well she will serve him. Okay? So we all at some point or the other feel like we should give an individual the opportunity to prove themselves. But the reason why so many black women are feeling so cheated is because you constantly tell yourself that it's your position, it is your responsibility to take care of someone's ego. Meanwhile, your situation is one where you don't even get respect, you don't get love, you feel at all times you can be replaced. That's why you're going through these men's phones. This is when they violate you. You feel like you should always give them opportunity to be a better person. You're giving them a chance to change. Accept people for who they are. And the best way to do that is to just accept whatever you see in front of you. If it is not something you can live with, then it's not something you should be trying to see if you can change. Okay? This is why women are very bitter. This is why a lot of women live their entire lives serving, men or even their children and feel resentment at the very end. Because guess what? You did more than you were supposed to do. You're giving too much of yourself. And oftentimes you're giving of yourself and you're not receiving, and you will never receive that. What happens? It makes you angry. We as women, we get way too desperate after we get to a certain age. When we're picking our partner, we should be looking long term, 20 years ahead, to say, how does this person change my life for the better? When you're entering into this type of relationship or partnership, it should be beneficial to both persons. And you can't just predict how the future is going to happen or unfold. You just have to work with what you see. Most men pick women that they could kind of predict how the outcome is going to be. Some of them know this is temporary. From the very beginning, all men know this is something that is temporary. I'm just staying here until I find something better. Whereas women, for the most part, decide right away, I am going to stay with this long term until the man decides for her that she's no longer the right one for him. Okay? So instead of spending all the time, saying I'm lonely, find something to do with yourself. Go back to school, find a new career, take up a hobby, travel, spend quality time to yourself. Having a man in your life is not the end all and the be all of everything. And trying to impress others that you're in a relationship when you're so unhappy and bitterness is creeping in within your spirit and you're looking and blaming other persons, it's not like you're going to blame yourself, but you have to understand that you didn't do your homework, you didn't do your research. You're doing this for gaining an education, research and homework and dedication, but you don't do that in the one most important thing with someone who you're going to bear children with, someone who you're going to build a life with. Marrying the wrong person can be the worst thing that could ever happen, worse than any disease, worse than death. The misery that you could go through, being in a situation or relationship with somebody who doesn't value you is worse than disease. So it's time for women to really stop entering into these people who only want to use you, or people who only see you as a temporary fix until they find one that they feel is going to better serve them. Always try to be equally yoked. It's not just a biblical thing, it's a thing where you're compatible. It's a thing where you have the same values. It's a thing where, you both care for each other. You just can't imagine not being a part of that person's life. But it should be the other way too. The person can't imagine not having you in their life, loving you and valuing you, not just for what you can give or what you can do, but that you're a critical part of their experience, to where even if you're not able to serve them anymore, they have no problem serving you. When you're in a situation where you're a burden, where someone doing something kind or nice for you is like a big test, where it's a challenge. When you're in a relationship, your partner should be away from you and always see something that makes them think of you. Oh, he or she would love this. Oh, I want to surprise he or she. Just the thought of surprising your partner makes you feel so excited. Love is a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful thing. Being in a marriage or a relationship over a long term means that you should be growing together. You should be loving each other, not just knowing each other's good and bad ways, but just seeing the blessing in it. If your relationship feels like a curse because of the toxicity of it, you might want to consider being alone. Okay? It's not always what it seems on the surface. That's why you can't continue to watch other person's life and want some of that, because you don't know what's going on behind closed door. I heard a woman talking about some things that she went through with her husband and how she had to financially take care of everything. And there's a bit of resentment in her voice, but people are looking on and saying that this man is an awesome man and a beautiful man. But she can't blame those people for saying that. It's because she sold them that story. She made that man look like he was a king. She make him seem like a trophy that she won, when in reality he was a toad. And this is what I want to say to men. Stop hyping up men. Stop putting them above you, putting them on a pedestal because you love them and you want everyone else to love them. And then at the end of the day, when things don't work out, you feel too ashamed to tell anybody the truth because you lied so much. You know what? It's time for women to start putting themselves first. When you've raised your children and you've done a great job in imparting all that you need to impart to them, it's not time for you to raise men. It's time for you to then breathe easy and start pouring some of that love on yourself. So many women sacrifice everything for men and children, and they pour nothing into themselves, and they die lonely, they die hurt, they die so disappointed. Okay, it's time for us in 2025 to start loving ourselves, not just pampering herself and taking care of the external, but taking care of the internal as well. And I'm going to also say to you that you can't expect people to respect you if you don't respect yourself. And the moment people are disrespecting you and you're tolerating it, you're telling them that it's okay. The moment you realize that the relationship that you're in is one that is not an equal one, is one where you're giving more than you're receiving, it's not the other person's fault, it is yours. Start loving yourself. And if you're going to share any video of mine, share this with all the women, especially Black women who are out there, laying themselves down like a carpet and having men run all over them, and men doing all kinds of things to them and disrespecting them and violating them and betraying them, and they're still sacrificing themselves to these people. Stop it. Because in the long run, they're still gonna walk over you and dump you in the long run. Okay? So take care of you. Preserve your energy. Preserve your strength. Love upon yourself and respect yourself. Stay blessed, everyone.